Find other great podcasts like this one at podmoth.network.
I'll go into your van, witchy woman.
I'm Neve from Ireland.
And I'm Emily, living in Chicago.
And we have never met in real life.
Fortunately, you don't need to live on the same continent to make a spooky podcast.
So that's exactly what we did. We created Rowan and Pine, our folklore, mythology, and spooky stuff podcast.
You can find us on your favorite platform, and we already have over 35 episodes ready to binge.
Don't forget the spooky shorts.
Right. We also have a bunch of short episodes if that's what you're into.
Come on, get spooky with us and frick yeah folklore.
What's up, frickin' weirdos? My name is Kevin, and I'm the host of Where the Weird Ones Are podcast. This is a conversational podcast based on guest experiences and encounters with paranormal, cryptids, aliens, spirituality, mental health, as well as conspiracies. If these topics interest you, you can find me on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, as well as YouTube and Rumble. If you have an encounter or an experience of something that you can't quite explain, I would love to hear from you. You can reach out to me at wheretheweirdonesare@gmail.com, where_the_weirdones_are on Instagram, and where the weird ones are on Facebook. I hope to hear from you, my friends. Question everything and stay weird.
Welcome to the Brutal, Bizarre, and Boozy podcast. I'm Declan, the son.
And I'm Jane, the mom. This is the podcast where we talk about brutal crimes, bizarre occurrences, and get you drunk with cocktails themed around one of our stories. To lighten things up, we'd like to end our time with a chaser. Please keep in mind some of our stories might be upsetting to young or sensitive ears.
We love hearing from our listeners, so feel free to contact us by email or social media. You can find our contact info in the show notes for this episode. If you'd like to support us through Patreon, you can find us there at Brutal, Bizarre, and Boozy podcast, or use the link in our show notes.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Brutal, Bizarre, and Boozy. How are you doing today, Declan?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. What story do you have for us today?
I'm going to be talking about Albert Spaggiari.
That's a very interesting name.
Yes.
I don't think I've heard that name before.
Largest heist of its time.
Oh, my
What are you
favorite.
going to be talking about today?
Let's go commit a heist. I am going to be talking about a recent story out of Hawaii, where a birthday hike took a really ugly turn.
That's not good.
No, it's not. And to go with my story, I brought the cocktail, the Tropical Jewel, because I thought, Hawaii is tropical. Let's do something tropical.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, this cocktail does not have rum or coconut in it. So it does have pineapple juice. So I guess that makes it tropical. But it is 1.5 ounces of bourbon, 1.5 ounces of pineapple juice, 3/4 ounce of Aperol, and 3/4 ounce of fresh lemon juice. You can garnish it with a cocktail cherry, which I forgot to do. The steps are to pour all ingredients into a shaker with ice, shake well, and strain into a lowball glass with more ice. And then, of course, if you have your cocktail cherry and you want to garnish it, then throw that cocktail cherry in there. But
I think this is going to be good.
I think it's going to be good too. I mean, I like all the things in and of themselves, so to mix them together has got to be good.
Yeah. It is interesting.
The Aperol definitely dries it out. It's very pineapple forward, which I didn't think that it necessarily would be. I don't taste the bourbon at all.
Mm-mm. That's think
It might be because I used a low proof bourbon because that's what I happened to grab first. Anyway, it's tasty.
Be better with if you swap the Aperol with like a Curacao. Might be a little bit better.
Yeah, but Aperol has that very distinct dry flavor to it. And I am a big fan of Aperol.
It has its applications for me, but I don't drink a lot of it.
I like a good Aperol spritz. And sometimes it's done properly and sometimes it's not. It's all about the ratios.
Yeah.
But I'm a fan. I would do this drink again. It's pretty yummy.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go on our hike in paradise, which for some people could be an amazing way to celebrate your birthday, but for one woman, it turned into an absolute nightmare. On a beautiful March day in 2025, married couple Gerhardt and Arielle Konig went for a hike on the island of Oahu, Hawaii. The hike was in celebration of Arielle's 36th birthday. What was supposed to be a fun, happy day turned into, like I said, a nightmare. Let's start with the couple. Gerhardt and Arielle Konig were married for 6 years, and the couple had 2 young boys. One was 2 and the other was 4 years old. The family lived and worked on the island of Maui. Both were well-respected, highly educated professionals. Gerhardt was an anesthesiologist, and Arielle was a nuclear engineer. Which I don't know what that means, but other than the fact that you put nuclear in anybody's job title and it means they're smart, in my opinion.
Yeah. Is this part of the group of like 11 missing scientists?
No, it is not.
Okay.
But we need to talk about that.
You said it was kind of recent, right?
It was recent. This happened in 2025. It's mostly resolved, but not completely resolved. And I'll explain why, but mostly resolved. From the outside, the couple looked to be happy, and they were, by all accounts, in love from what everybody could see from the outside. But as we have so many times before talked about, the outside isn't always the truth. So what it looks like on the surface, not always true. In the months leading up to the hike, the couple started having some marital problems. Gerhardt had found some questionable messages on Arielle's phone between her and a male coworker. The messages were flirty, and Arielle explained that she had been having an emotional affair with the coworker, but nothing physical had ever happened. So she's texting him and he's texting her and they're flirting, but that's as far as it went. Understandably, Gerhardt was jealous of what he had discovered. Wanting to preserve the marriage, the couple entered counseling, but Gerhardt's extreme jealousy persisted. Arielle felt that Gerhardt was trying to monitor and control all of her communications. Even though the couple was going through hard times, they decided a weekend trip to Oahu might do them and their marriage some good. The trip was meant to celebrate Arielle's birthday. It was supposed to be a reset, a chance to step away from the tension, the arguments, the suspicion, and try to reconnect. But instead, it became a moment everything finally broke down. And on March 24th, 2025, the couple set out on a hike along a nearby lookout that is known for its incredible views. But it's also known for being dangerous. The trail is narrow and uneven. It runs alongside steep cliffs that have sheer drop-offs. One wrong step can be deadly. At some point during the hike, Gerhardt suggested they take a photo together near the edge of the trail and the edge of a cliff.
That's always a terrific idea.
Yeah. For sure. How many times have people done selfies and ended up dead because of the selfie? Well, Arielle was smart and said no, she wasn't going to do it. She refused. She later said that she didn't feel comfortable going that close to the edge of the cliff. Instead, she turned and started to walk away. According to Arielle, that made Gerhardt angry, and he told her to come back. When she refused, the situation escalated quickly. She said he pushed her into nearby bushes and began attacking her. What followed was violent and chaotic. Arielle later told investigators that Gerhardt grabbed her, pulled her toward the edge of the cliff, and tried to force her even closer. She fought back and tried to get away, but he didn't stop. Arielle saw Gerhardt grab a syringe and a vial from his bag. She didn't know what was in them.
I was literally just about to say that anesthesiologists usually don't beat their wife to death.
No, I mean, they have access to some stuff. Those those doctors that prescribe and deal with stuff to make you go night-night. Mm-hmm. So when she saw him grab the syringe and vial, she managed to get the syringe away, but he still had the vial and he was digging around in his bag. So she thought he was going for another syringe because he was trying to inject her. She, like I said, she managed to get the initial syringe away, and but she that wasn't how he stopped. There was a continued struggle, and Gerhardt picked up a rock because when you can't get to your syringe, I guess a rock will do. He began hitting her repeatedly, blows to her head, face, and body. Arielle was bleeding and disoriented, but she was still fighting. She would later say that in the moment, she realized something terrifying. This wasn't just an argument or a fight. She believed he was truly trying to kill her. She began screaming for help, which caught the attention of other nearby hikers. When they arrived, they saw Arielle on the ground. She was covered in blood, and Gerhardt was on top of her, still attacking her. But when he realized somebody else was there, he stopped and took off. One of the hikers called 911, and when the emergency responders arrived, they found Arielle with multiple lacerations to her head and face, which usually happens when somebody beats you with a rock. She was taken to the hospital with serious injuries, but she was alive. Before Gerhardt was located by the police, he called his adult son from a previous marriage. During that FaceTime call, which maybe you shouldn't FaceTime call, because the son noticed blood on his dad's clothing and said, "What's that on your clothes, Dad?" And he said, "Well, I just tried to kill your stepmom while we were on a hike." So it's her blood. Yeah. Gerhardt was arrested later that day and charged with attempted murder. Arielle was issued a restraining order when she explained that Gerhardt had physically and sexually abused her over the last couple of months prior to the attack and before the hike. It prevented her husband from contacting her or their children. As the case unfolded, two different versions of what happened on that trail emerged. Because, of course, there has to be two stories. Prosecutors argued that this was a deliberate attempt to kill his wife. They pointed to the location, the cliff, and the repeated blows with a rock, plus Arielle's statements that he tried to push her towards the edge. The defense told a different story, of course. They claimed it was self-defense. Okay. You defended yourself against your wife by trying to inject her with a mystery substance and then beat her with a rock. Okay. And push her towards the edge of a cliff. Okay. But according to that self-defense claim, they said that Arielle had initiated the physical confrontation and that Gerhardt reacted in the moment. The trial brought up the couple's marital history, the counseling, and the growing tension between them. Gerhardt's son was called to testify about the FaceTime call he received from his father shortly after the attack. Of course, it's he said, she said through the whole thing, but the conclusion of the trial occurred in March of 2026. The jury convicted Gerhardt of a lesser charge. They convicted him of attempted manslaughter instead of attempted murder. The distinction mattered because they were saying that basically the jury said he acted in the heat of the moment, that he didn't go up there with the intent to kill her, but under the extreme emotional distress of their circumstances, that he tried to take advantage of it. So they said it was attempted manslaughter versus a premeditated intent of attack. At the time of this recording, Gerhardt is still awaiting sentencing, which is scheduled for August of this year, 2026. He faces a possible sentence of up to 20 years in prison. His lawyers have already stated that they will be appealing the conviction. That is why you don't go hiking near a cliff with your husband who thinks you cheated on him.
Yeah, that's a wild story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
All right, tell us about this big
let's
heist,
talk
my
about
favorite thing in the whole wide
Albert
world.
Spaggiari. And I'm going to mess up a bunch of these names because it's a French story. So Albert was born on December 14th, 1932 in Valrange-Montéglin in the Alps to Richard and Maricel. His father died in 1953, and he grew up in Jerez, where his mother ran a lingerie store. At the age of 19, he enlisted as a paratrooper in the First Indochina War and was posted to the 3rd Battalion Colonel Paratroopers. During this time, he and a few accomplices put a gun to the head of someone they claimed had robbed them. However, the military court believed that this was actually a stick-up, and Albert spent the next 4 years in jail.
Oh, okay.
Following his release, he moved to North Africa and joined the Organisation Armée Secrète, the OAS, a right-wing group that wanted to prevent Algerian independence. This later led him to be sentenced to 3.5 more years in jail on the charges of political terrorism.
Ooh, okay.
Albert seemingly had put politics behind him, then moved to Nice, France, alongside his wife, Audi. They lived in a country villa called the Wild Geese, where they raised chickens, and he also worked as a photographer. Albert and the Corsican Brotherhood were recruited in France by the Chilean secret police. Albert had a good relationship with Augusto Pinochet. His codename was Daniel. This group was called DINA, or the Corsican Brigade, and according to CIA documents declassified in 2000 and published by the National Security Archive, the DINA international agent responsible for the assassination of Orlando Lettier, a member of Salvadorian Alente's government in Washington, was contacting with Albert. Information contained in the document suggested that Albert conducted operations on behalf of DINA. So he's back to doing more shady shit with the mob, basically.
Okay.
In 1976, Albert walked into the Société Générale Bank, in Nice, France. He went there to access a safety deposit box, and during his visit, he noticed something. This safety deposit room had no alarm system. Everything was simply locked behind a giant vault door.
Was it his own box, safe deposit box that he was accessing at the bank?
That
Or was
I'm not
he
sure of.
breaking into somebody else's?
No, I don't think he was doing anything illegal at this point.
At that, he just happened to be there and looked around and went, "Oh, this is a great opportunity." Okay.
Yes. So he got the bright idea to rob the bank and started to surveil the area. He started taking pictures inside the vault and inside the bank. Thinking of ways to break in, Albert starts analyzing the sewers. He starts making his own map by going into the sewers near the bank and exploring by himself for about 6 days. He didn't really find much, so he then goes to town hall and requests the layout of the sewer system, claiming he's working on a project. Government workers don't care about anything, so they gave him the layout of the sewer system.
They were like, sure. What could you possibly gain knowledge-wise about this by looking at the sewer system? Nobody's going to go there if they're doing something shady. No.
After examining the layout, he determines a route to get into the bank vault and hires 20 men from his OAS group to help him dig out the sewer system.
20?
Over the 20.
That's a lot of people.
In the sewers, yeah.
Yeah.
Over the next 2 months, the men started chipping away in the sewer system to dig a 26-foot-long tunnel right to the vault. They used rubber rafts.
I'm just wondering, did the people digging the tunnel, his friends, did they know what they were digging for? Like, did they know it was to go to the vault? Or was he like, hey, I've got this cool project. Will you come help me, bro? You got a strong back. You know how to wield a shovel. And they were like, sure, my buddy asked me to. I didn't know I was breaking into a bank.
I'm sure they knew. They're all part of the same mob group in the past. So
okay. Gotcha.
Over 2 months, the men started chipping away. I already said that part. They used rubber rafts and installed hundreds of meters of electrical cables for lighting. They set up picnic tables for meals and air mattresses for sleeping. After reaching what they believed was the concrete outside the vault, they waited for a long weekend. On July 16th, 1976, the weekend of Bastille Day, which I think is like 4th of July for France, but I could be wrong. They made their move and started to break through the concrete wall inside the vault. As a security measure, they welded the inside of the vault door shut to make sure no one could ruin their fun.
Nice.
They then proceeded to open each and every safety deposit box. They spent several hours picking through the various boxes before they left on the 20th of July. So they were there for 3 to 4 days, just milling around in the sewers and the safety deposit boxes.
Wow.
When they left a message on the walls of the vault. Sans armes, ni haine, ni violence, which meant without weapons, neither hatred nor violence. So just kind of taunting him a little bit.
Okay.
When the bank opened up the next day and they couldn't get into the vault, they called some contractors to bust the wall open and discovered that all the safety deposit boxes had been raided.
Oops.
Albert and his crew stole about 46 million francs worth of merchandise, which, after some difficult calculations, is about $50 million today, because I had to account for
inflation and the conversion from francs to USD.
Yes.
Nice.
So at first, the French police were baffled. However, at the end of October, on a tip from a former girlfriend, they arrested one of the thieves. After a lengthy interrogation, he implicated the entire gang, including Albert. When Albert, who had been accompanying the mayor of Nice in the Far East as a photographer, returned to Nice, he was arrested at the airport. Albert chose Jacques Perrat, a veteran of the French Foreign Legion who belonged at the time to the National Front, as his defense attorney. Albert first denied his involvement in the break-in and then acknowledged it, but claimed that he was working to fund a secret political organization named Katina that seemed to have only existed in his fantasy. During his case hearings, Albert made a coded fictitious document which he claimed as evidence. He was in court on March 10th, 1977, while Judge Richard Boozy was distracted by the document. Albert jumped out of the window, landing safely on a parked car and escaping on a waiting motorcycle.
Oh,
Some reports
shit.
said that the owner of the car later received a 5,000 franc check in the mail for the damage to his roof.
Yeah.
Albert remained free for the rest of his life. He was sentenced via trial in absentia to life imprisonment. He is reported to have plastic surgery to change his appearance and to have spent probably most of the rest of his life in Argentina, visiting France clandestinely to see his mother or wife. Albert, a heavy smoker, died of lung cancer at age 56. His body was found by his mother in the front of his home in Jerez on the 10th of June, 1989. During his time as a free man, he published books about the crimes, Frick Frack, The Great Riviera Bank Heist in 1979, and The Sewers of Gold in 1981.
Seriously? He wrote books about it?
Yep.
When he's on the run.
Uh-huh.
The balls on that guy. Holy crap. Do they not have extradition between those two countries?
Probably not. I don't know.
That
he was probably
is
smart about it and went somewhere that they couldn't get his ass.
That is amazing to me. How have we not done this on the pod already?
I don't know. The fact that he jumped out of the window and had someone pick him up on a motorcycle is crazy.
Wow.
Should be a movie about that if there isn't already.
Definitely. Oh my gosh. I can't believe he wrote books about it.
Yeah.
While
I
he
kind of
was
want to read them now.
No kidding. Me too. I wonder if it starts off with, yes, I am a badass who did this and I'm going to tell you all about it. And I am on the run. And so good luck finding me.
Yeah. It didn't sound like he was the greatest guy though, but based on him being arrested for political terrorism.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, I bet he's a fun guy to drink with.
Yeah, no kidding. He's got some great stories, but I would be like, his stories are fake. He made that up. He didn't really do that shit.
Yeah.
I wouldn't believe him.
Do you have a chaser for us?
I do have a chaser. It's from an article I found on Good News Network. And there is at Oxford, one of the libraries at Oxford has a library cat, and his name is Izzy. He is a big, fluffy Siberian forest cat that he doesn't live at the library. His owner is one of the librarians, and she brings him with her to work. And so he's kind of become this unofficial mascot of the library. He doesn't get to roam around the library. He has to be in an office. But people can come by and meet him and say hi to him and give him pets and hug him and love him. And it's adorable. And you would love this cat. Like, you should go look up the article and just see pictures of him. He's big and fluffy, and he looks like a Maine Coon almost, but he's a Siberian forest cat, which I thought was super cool. He's very exotic looking.
Looking it up right now.
It's one of the,
Yeah, it
it's
does look like
a
a
more
Maine Coon.
recent one. Kind of, yeah. Big, long, fluffy tail, long hair. He's cute.
Very
He's
cute.
adorable. Yeah. What's your chaser today?
My chaser is a callback to episode 54 with Sky King.
54. Oh, yeah.
I just saw that there's a documentary on Hulu about it. So you can see
I saw that.
Like you can hear him talking to the control tower and stuff and like see
Yeah.
how he's flying and doing barrel rolls and shit. It's pretty interesting. If you want more background on that story that we did back in 2023. Wow.
That's crazy. Yeah, I saw that. I didn't realize it was the Sky King at first. When I saw a little trailer for it, I was like, this is interesting. And then I went, oh my God, we've covered that. I remember that story.
Yeah, it's an interesting watch if you want some more background on that whole story.
Definitely. I want to hear his conversations with the tower.
You can also find those on YouTube and stuff, like full audio recording of it. It's interesting to know the outcome, and he's just talking like a normal guy.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, you think I can flip this fucking thing? Yeah. It's kind of funny just to hear him like talk.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. That's crazy.
Well, I think that brings us to the end of today's episode. Thanks for joining us once again, everybody.
Yes, thank you.
Love you,
nice
Mom.
chatting with you, bud. Love you.
Bye.
Hey, friends. Thank you for supporting our podcast. Please share our show with your brutal and bizarre friends. Give us a Boozy follow on your favorite podcast platform. If you're feeling extra generous, we'd appreciate a 5-star rating or review as well. But maybe do that sober so all the letters are in the right place.
You can find all our contact information in the show notes. We love hearing from you, and if you're interested in helping us stock the bar for our future Boozy episodes, you can find our Patreon link in the show notes as well.